Former President Donald Trump believes he's being treated a lot like Alexei Navalny, the now deceased Putin critic who died in a Russian prison.
It's a lot
It is
of
a
no.
form of Navalny. It is a form of communism or fascism.
Now, this was in response to being asked about his massive fine from the state of New York as a result of the fraud trial, where, again, they found that a judge had found that he had committed massive amounts of fraud. And so this had to do with the valuations of his properties, where flat out lied about how valuable they actually were, what their actual worth was, inflating that value in order to get better loan terms, lower interest rates, and things that saved him money, but actually ended up costing the bank more money. So, fraud. Okay. And so getting caught and being charged for that fraud, apparently that is a form of communism or fascism. Wait, hold on there. This is classic Republicans not actually knowing what words mean. Okay, it's communism, or it could be fascism. I don't know. It's the same thing. No, they're not the same thing. They're complete opposites. But anyway. All right. But once again, the real reason that he owes so much money is not because he's like Navalny, right? And basically, that's to say that he's, being politically persecuted, that he's a political prisoner, okay? In reality, he owes a lot of money because of what he sees every morning when he wakes up, okay? And I don't mean the ketchup stains. He did it. He repeatedly defamed writer E. Jean Carroll, whom a jury had determined had been sexually abused by Trump. He's liable for that. And he went out and lied, defamed her, and now owes $83 million to her. Then, of course, the New York fraud trial, he engaged in massive fraud in order to get more favorable loan terms, interest rates, etc. And Judge Arthur Engren ruled that Trump's lack of contrition and remorse for doing this borders on pathological. Unsurprising. But apparently, once again, being held accountable through legal fines is a lot like being thrown in a prison and murdered. Ah, right. Again, like him or not, Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny died in one of Russia's harshest penal colonies because he had spoken out against Vladimir Putin, who has, again, a lot of power. Now, Trump went on to say this about Navalny's death, quote, "People thought that could happen, and it did happen." And then went on to say, falsely, "It's happening here." He then claimed that his indictments are all because of the fact that I'm in politics. No, no. Look, some of them have to do with what Trump did while he was president. Again, he tried to overturn an election based on conspiracy theories and lies, and then, the big lie, and then engaged in election interference. Again, the election interference was his so-called perfect call with Vladimir Zelensky, okay? Where he tried to pressure the Ukrainian government into launching an investigation into Joe and Hunter Biden. That was it. Trying to pressure a foreign leader into doing an investigation into your political rival. How is that not election interference? And he was impeached over that, but because Senate Republicans are cowards, and we're like, oh, no, we're not going to go after Donald Trump because we're afraid of the chuds. Well, he got away with it. But again, he's been indicted on a bunch of these different issues, and as well as keeping documents at his personal residence that do not belong to him. They actually belong to the federal government. And when asked to return them, he did not return them, and then went on to try to obstruct government efforts to try to take them back. That's why he's been indicted. That's why he's in a lot of trouble. Okay, just in case you didn't know, just in case you weren't keeping track, there are 91 indictments here, all on a range of criminal charges. There's a lot of election interference involved in these cases. But once again, Trump compares himself to an actual political prisoner, which again, like Navalny and not, apparently he was very, anti-Muslim, right? I don't agree with that. I don't like that. But he was an actual political prisoner in Russia for being Russian opposition. He was poisoned and then sent to a Russian prison camp. So that is way different than what's going on here with Donald Trump, okay? I'm very skeptical that Trump will even see the inside of a jail. That's just me. Nonetheless, getting back to the real reason for Trump's legal troubles, well, again, all he has to do is look into a mirror and see the real cause.